Okay, my loves, this episode is coming from the soul because we need to talk about the harsh truth around mediocrity. Now, you literally cannot afford to stay around people who are content with staying the same. Now, I say that because I am currently just like coming off of a tough time in business. Like, as you guys know, I am really focused on scaling my coaching program, Wanderlust Wealth Academy, and just helping more women get started investing in real estate. Like, that is such a big passion of mine. That's what led me to where I am today. But the thing about scaling a business, it also, yes, it comes with more income, but it also comes with a lot more problems and a lot more responsibility. And I was really just feeling the weight of the responsibility over the last like week or two, like really just feeling the weight of it and the responsibility that I have, not just towards my clients, but towards the people that work for me and whose salaries depend on me and whose salary depends on me actually being able to perform and all of these things. And I was honestly so exhausted. I was so exhausted and kind of broke down a little bit. But all that to say is whenever you're trying to do something that matters, whenever you're trying to do something that is a little bit of challenging, it is going to be hard because you're not trying to be mediocre. You're not trying to stay stagnant and be in exactly the same place in a year or in 5 years or in 10 years. You're trying to grow. It's so important that you put yourself around other people who are also looking to grow and are constantly improving themselves and are constantly doing hard things. Because the thing is if you're not growing, you are dying. Because think about it from a cells standpoint. We're literally going back to biology. For example, cells are constantly regenerating, right? Like if they weren't regenerating, they would die. Think about like your skin, right? Your skin is constantly regenerating, like every 27 days, basically. Like the skin cells replace themselves. They have to keep growing. And even just to maintain yourself at like actual homeostasis, you're still constantly growing. And if you're not growing, then you are literally dying. That's when your skin cells fall off. And so that's why I'm so averse to being around people who don't want to grow, who don't want to change. And it's like kind of an ick for me, honestly. But what that also means is that you might outgrow old friendships, old relationship, and just old environments. Hey girl, if you've been dreaming about building generational wealth and living life on your own terms, this one's for you. Now, 5 years ago, I was right where you are, okay? Burnt out, working a corporate engineering job, grinding with no real freedom in sight. Then I bought my first investment property, learned how to live for free, and started making money in my sleep. That one decision changed absolutely everything. I stopped relying on my 9 to 5 and eventually walked away from it for good. And trust me, I don't regret it. Now I'm on a mission to help other people do the same, which is exactly why I created Wanderlust Wealth Academy, a transformational program and community where I teach you how to buy your first or next investment property and live for free in 2025. Now, this community is for three kinds of people, okay? If you are stuck in a job that you don't love, secretly dreaming of more freedom, more travel, and more passive income, and you know you don't want to be climbing the corporate ladder for the next 10, 20, 30 years, this is for you. Or maybe you're a digital nomad or a travel girly who just wants to build wealth and create stability without giving up your freedom. Or maybe you're a business owner or high earning corporate baddie who just sees the market volatility and knows that it's time to diversify your income. If any of those sound like you and you're making at least $75,000, ideally six figures, and have a minimum of $10,000 that you can put towards a property, then go ahead and apply for the Wanderlust Wealth Academy. Now, this is going to be a completely free call to see if you're a good fit for us and also for us to see if we're a good fit for you. You can go ahead and apply at oliviatati.com/apply WWA. That's oliviatati.com/apply WWA. Or you can just go ahead and click the link in the show notes. Now, spots are limited. We only take a few new folks a month. So make sure to apply now before there are no spots left, and they go pretty quick. Because my girl, freedom is so much closer than you think. And this can get really lonely sometimes, like especially if you are a solo single female, this can get really lonely because now it's like, yes, you're growing and you are putting yourself in new spaces, but there's also that period of time between like where you are currently now and where you're trying to go, and you're still not good enough to really feel like you fit in where you're trying to go. You also feel like you don't fit in with where you used to be. So you're kind of in this limbo state. And a lot of the time in that limbo state, it's so easy to go inwards and think that you're alone and think that you're the only person in the world experiencing this. And that's when we really start to feel the weight of the responsibility on our shoulders. And especially when you are a high achieving solo female, right? It feels like sometimes you don't have anyone to lean on because you've got this invisible mental load that are the bills and taxes and all the decisions and all the responsibilities and all of the pressure. And there's no one to be like, hey, honey, don't worry, I got this, right? Like you are responsible for every single thing. And sometimes there is a little bit of loneliness that creeps in, even when you are strong and even when you have a bunch of people around you and a bunch of friends around you. And a lot of the time, it's not even that you want to do it alone, but it's like the thought of having someone come into your life who's just going to slow you down and hold you back is worse than doing it alone for the time being, right? And that's where the power of really getting it yourself into the right circles is. So I think about like this past week when I was just feeling really down, and thankfully, like a lot of my really close friends have been close friends forever, and we've all kind of grown together in completely different fields. So I remember I like called one of my best friends one morning this week. And so she's a pediatric neurologist. She is so freaking fabulous. And so I called her just in that really dark, down moment, and I just like cried. Right? I was like, I'm so tired. I'm so exhausted. And sometimes I just want someone to come and be like, hey, I got this. Like you rest, right? But like knowing that I'm the sole person who is responsible for everything, sometimes it gets to you. And just that one conversation with her, because once again, she's a pediatric neurologist. She's doing way harder things than I am, honestly and truly. Like my problems are really not problems when I think about her problems, and she's dealing with like children and illnesses and all of these things. But having someone else who understands the high stress and also understands how much of a badass, bitch, basically, and also someone who understands what it means to be like a badass female, right? And understanding, like in school, I was going through engineering and she was going through medical school, and us understanding like our work ethic and our desire to be like high accomplishing human beings in society. And just that conversation with her and her being like, Olivia, you got this. Like, it doesn't mean that it's not hard, but like you got this, and you know that you've got this, and you've been through harder things. And when I think about those times where we were up till like 4 a.m. getting work done and things like that, like you have got this, and I know you do. And I think about like if I had some other people where I would be like, oh, don't worry, don't do anything. But no, like having that other strong female around you to tell you that you have this is huge. And that's like exactly why I even created Wanderlust Wealth Academy, my coaching program, because that community, they will not let you give up on your goals. Having people like that around you will push you forward. And so many people don't have that person. That's why they feel so alone, or that community of people, right? Like it feels so isolating because you could be one conversation away from giving up on your goals, okay? Or you could be one conversation away from freaking crushing it and completely changing your life. And it all depends on who you surround yourself with. And it's so key to choose peace over people pleasing, because what I've honestly started to realize is I would much rather be alone than be with someone who dims my light. And even better than that, I would much rather be around people who make my light shine brighter, So I just want to remind you, you don't need someone to fix it. You don't need someone to fix you. You just need someone to remind you who you are. And just a final reminder for you, okay, you are not crazy for having these big dreams and these big goals and these big desires for your life. And also, you are not weak whenever you are feeling like it's just a lot, and like it feels like wherever you're trying to go is so far away and it feels impossible to get to. Make sure to lean on your circle. And if you don't have a circle you can lean on, go find one. Surround yourself with people who remind you that you are powerful and who push you to keep on going. Okay, that's it for today, fam. I hope that this energized you and just put life back into you, because it put life back into me. Now, don't forget to share this with someone or just leave a review. Truly, it helps so much. I'll see you on the next one. Thank you so much for listening to Wanderlust Wealth Show. Now, don't forget to follow the podcast, or if you're watching on YouTube, make sure to hit that subscribe button. If you love this episode, it would literally mean the world to me if you shared this with a friend or a family member, or literally like anyone off of the street. Like right now, go ahead, share it so you don't forget, or post it on social media and make sure to tag me. I love seeing what you're listening in on and what you resonated with, and I'm just so freaking thankful for you. I'm so freaking excited for you. I love you, and don't forget, life really doesn't have to be hard.